Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. One key thing to watch today will be the battle in the trenches. The Bucs are top 10 in rush yards allowed, and they're going up against a Seahawks team that will need to figure out how much it can count on the run. The opening kick is straight ahead, so it's time to turn it over to my colleagues, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis with the call. Gentlemen.
And we're about 5 miles northwest of downtown Tampa at beautiful Raymond James Stadium near Florida's Gulf Coast. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now they'll run it on the toss. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there. Second down. And this offense can air it out, and when they do, you have to key on Mike Evans.
And we do think about his catch radius first and foremost. A tall, lean receiver, but he actually can make some agile plays as well.
So 2nd and 10 here. Play action now, Winston. And that is incomplete here. The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
When Bobby Wagner's career is said and done, people are going to look back and say he was an absolute steal in the NFL draft. A Pro Bowl player for any team.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Play clock winding down. They just do get the play off. Now Winston. He's got time in the pocket. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It's a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. Back deep for the Seahawks, the all-pro returner from 2015, Tyler Lockett. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. In the slot on the right is Graham. Well, throw on 1st down with Wilson. And Graham's got it over the middle. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. And this offense often hinges on one of the best tight ends in the league, and that's Jimmy Graham.
I think he made up for lost time when he got to the NFL because in college, he was mainly a basketball player, a defender who couldn't score. Now he's flipped it around in the NFL. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to score.
And he's going to be out of bounds right at the 40. And they talked about how important the passing game was going to be against that defensive look. Good job there going to the air for the 1st down.
It's all about preparation. It's all about planning. And then it's about execution. So put it all together in practice. Okay, this is what we think we're going to see. This is how they get to it. And then when the game comes, read it and attack it.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And a quick look at the Buccaneer defensive starters.
Vaughn Alexander is one of the exciting linebackers in the league. His forte, speed.
On 2nd down, Wilson. Baldwin with it over the middle. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun on third down, Wilson. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. A good pickup there at 22.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now second down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. Wilson now off the bootleg. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Jermaine Kearse, and it'll bring up third down. Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. On third down, Wilson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And Hauschka's kick is good. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense, and over the post.
And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. So out come the Bucs now. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
And he goes across the 20 to the 22. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Throwing, Winston. Finding time. He'll rifle into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman, and his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
I don't care how many times you tell the story, it never loses its luster for me. Doug Baldwin, undrafted out of Stanford, and plays like a #1 receiver should in the NFL. I don't care how you cover him. I don't care that his size isn't great. He's the one that typically comes up with the football.
Absolutely. His roots go. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And he puts it through. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And with the new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
And he'll find some space up to about the 25. They run the counter now on first down. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11.
I can't help it. I'm just sitting back in admiration right now. This defense tells everyone that plays against them, you're not beating us running the football. That's who we are. That's what we're about. It's not going to happen. If you're going to beat us, you better pick another way.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Winston on 3rd and 2. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down. Well, he just threw an interception last drive. Nearly another pick.
And things aren't very even right now, are they? It's a little bit sloppy out there, isn't it? It's kind of the difference between driving on those paved roads and those country roads that have those potholes in them, isn't it? That's the way this game's going right now. A lot of bouncy bounce to it.
You spent some time on some Tennessee country roads.
I certainly have. Plenty of family back there. God love them.
And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
A 2nd down carry for Procise. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Man, it wasn't that long ago that the guy playing that spot was an outside linebacker type of a guy. Now, as a defensive end, how about the speed that he used to get into the backfield and make the play?
3rd and 2, now Wilson. And he finds Jimmy Graham. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. Now Wilson on first down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. It's a gain of 17 that time. And that'll be good for a Seattle first down.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. The grab made by Curse over the middle. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on it. Really well done.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. fourth down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go to make things happen.
Shake it off. Looking left side, and it's complete. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down.
But depending on the team, they'd call that an explosive play or a chunk play, the one that they got on the previous one. They tried to go back and get another one, didn't they?
They did, but unsuccessful on that second attempt. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete.
A nickel look by Seattle on third down.
Yep, 5 defensive backs now. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up fourth down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first-level run, and it was stopped by a second-level player.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And out now come the Seahawks. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it a second down. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll come up now in the Wildcat package. A direct snap to Procise. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. The defense came out with a look that they had prepped for all week to attack. They took advantage, got the first down.
And the key words in there, prepped for all week. They really studied them, understood their tendencies, knew what they liked to do, and prepared their game plan accordingly. And, boy, the payoff was good.
Now Wilson, he's got time. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Here's Wilson. It's caught on the left side by Kurz. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
He went full scale, loose, flexible, finding a way to catch the ball in some traffic for a key first down.
Yeah, really a nice job of adjusting to the ball in the air. Not the most accurate of throws, but able to adjust and make the grab. Well, throw on first down with Wilson. Complete outright to Kurz. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. Wilson now off the bootleg. And this will be incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short. 7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Play action. Now Wilson. And able to find Graham. Complete. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Surveying the field. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
2nd and 10 now, Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Barkevius Mingo in there to take him down and to take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. 3rd and long, it's Wilson. He's got time in the pocket. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
And, Charles, they get the field goal. Took him a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
The Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
They'll come out in the pistol. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Again, we'll see the pistol here. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. They go play action. Winston. And this is incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or 2 in and bats it away.
Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd and 3. Another pistol look here. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he is going to lose yardage here. Losing 4 yards that time. And now it's 4th down.
There's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
The drive starts with C.J. Prosise. And he stopped immediately there. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL, and a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college, they were safeties. They moved them up to outside linebacker to combat the spread offenses, and now we're seeing it in the NFL. Those same guys using their speed to make plays in the backfield, similar to that one.
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up
and no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Gerald McCoy in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. And the offense now will try to regroup after the sack on second down. And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on third down. On third down, Wilson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they get 10 yards there and convert on third. Really nice little connection there. They go with the corner route, and it works out well.
And the best way to set up the corner route is to throw slants throughout the ball game so that when you're able to get back outside, the defender has to respect the inside game.
Running the Wildcat, it's Prosise. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
This time, Wilson will throw. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
As if he didn't have enough to think about on that route, the comeback route, coming back to the football and catching it, decided to make sure he toe-tapped and kept himself in bounds.
And that was spectacular, but on the comeback route, maybe a little easier to deal with the sideline since you've got better vision of it.
I think that's a great point because you should know exactly where you're going and know how much space you have and make sure you get your feet down. But, yeah, coming back to the football, I like it. Good vision.
A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. On first down, Prosise. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
It's caught. Lockett. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
From the gun on third down, Wilson. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
I think the training and practice broke down on that play because he simply didn't run the route deep enough to get to the first down marker. despite what was a really nice catch and toe tap on the sideline.
That's third down 101. You got to go to the marker, know where it is. They pass up the three, fake it. It doesn't work. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter three.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a third down and 6.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
And they're going to go soft on the corners. On third down, Winston. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now. Here's Brian Anger now, as he's on for the 5th time here today.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
12 yards on the return that time, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. Barkevious Mingo in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. On second down, here's Wilson. And he will find his man on the outside. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here.
It's caught on the left side by Baldwin. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. He'll return it from the 6. And some room to roam now. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A great effort there. His 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Bucs are able to make this a close game again. Blair Walsh on to attempt the extra point. And that'll make it 13-7. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. Tyler Lockett now with a return. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, Why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it. An in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
Trying to lay one up deep. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Seattle. Now a high kick, almost a pooch punt. Fielded just inside the 20. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and out will come the offense as they take over. And Tampa Bay trots out there now, and they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Back now in Tampa. Now Jameis on second down. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team. Third and 11, 5 in the secondary now.
Nickel look. Off the play fake, Winston. Finding time. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Well, they decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice. Able to get a hand in and tip it away.
Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
He'll try to get forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks at about the 3. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Baldwin with it over the middle. And all the way down to the 35. A big play there on the catch and run. 62 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
Wilson turns and gives to Procise. And a solid run down inside the 30. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
On 2nd down, Wilson. The grab made by Curse over the middle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Jameis to throw it. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The tight end Cameron Brate was the target. And now it's 2nd down.
And he still doesn't have a catch. We're into the second half. I think it's a little bit of a surprise to me, but that was one he should have caught.
Absolutely. That was his best opportunity right there. He dropped it. A 2nd down throw for Winston. And he fires one incomplete. So a 2nd down incompletion now brings up 3rd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He loses 5 full yards to bring up 4th. Here's Brian Anger now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
They'll pitch out to Procise. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
They go play action now. Wilson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is fielded at the 27. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. So from the 40 to the 45, 5-yard run.
First play of it all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
So the offense readies for a 2nd and 4. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Mario Edwards Jr. there to bring him down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
He's got time. Complete. He finds Bray. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
And quickly they get to the line. And on the ground they go with a running back. Down to the 25. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down. Now a 2nd down throw for Winston. Surveying the field. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. One receiver to the left is Evans. Back to throw. He's got time in the pocket. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, any caused incompletion is good for a defense. But when you add to it that you get a little hit on the quarterback, knock him to the ground, make him think a little bit, hopefully knock him off his game, especially in a game of this magnitude, this tight in the 4th quarter, got to feel pretty good as a defense.
And he goes in motion here in the backfield. Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. They have the lead, still a one-possession game, but the defense got the stop. They've got the football now, just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way. You know they're over on the sidelines now starting to take their tape off, and, hey, we've done this thing. The offense has to put it away, and that means ball security.
Absolutely. And the Buccaneers go ahead and take another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Right back to Procise. And he'll take this one only up to about the 21. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. On 3rd down, Procise. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. 9 yards on the carry there, but it'll be 4th down now.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. It's taken to the 26. A strong running. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. One possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts. Got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. They'll look to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
He'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Well, Charles, exciting to the very end. That's what we just saw in this game. Final play there, had it in the red zone, but anytime you're outside of the 10, that's tough. Try to draw up a final play to get in, and they couldn't do it.